for me personally, if magic was virtual shows when I was a kid, I don't think I'd be interested in it. Do you know what I mean? I think I got...
Yeah, because you watch David Blaine, but you see David Blaine interacting with the people.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know that I would be hooked the same way I was. I don't think I would have gotten into magic all that heavy if this is what it was.
Hello, and welcome to Slightly Smokin' Livestream. Today we've got a very special guest. He's the official magician at Penguin Magic. His name, Nick Locapo, and I'm very excited to have him on here. I first met him in actually, Tampa, Florida, when I was traveling around the country doing shows. And really nice guy, all around great magician. Super excited to have him on here. And there's the man himself. I'm going to get him on right now after that little introduction. Boom, boom, boom.
There it is.
Hey. Yo, yo, yo.
What's up, man?
Doing excellent, man. How are you?
Oh, just, riding out the storm down here, man. Out in Ohio.
You're in Ohio? It looks like you're in the P3 theater.
I am in the P3 theater.
Oh,
yeah.
No way. That looks great.
Yeah.
It looks familiar.
It's the basement that I've been in for the past, 6 months or whatever. So feels like an eternity, but yeah, here we are.
Yeah, man. Awesome, dude. It's a pleasure having you on here. Thank you
for
taking your time.
Yeah, of course.
All right, let's dive into it. I know people are popping in and out of this. I always like to know your superhero origin story.
It's not,
How did that come into your life?
How long is this show?
As long as you want. Oh, but within an hour, No,
oh, perfect.
Cuts us off after an hour.
I'm a product of the internet magic generation. Yeah, I only knew that I liked magic because of David Copperfield on television when I was a kid, but I didn't know any magicians or been to a magic show. I had no idea. I just thought it was like a cool show on TV that was cool. I didn't know that you could actually do it. So when Blaine, I always knew a couple card tricks, like the layman card tricks. I just probably did them. I took them a little bit more seriously, right? Because it was all I had. But when Blaine came on television, first of all, I thought he was real, which of course he is real. But I thought he was from another planet. When it dawned on me that that was something that I could do, I had to know how such things were possible. That's where I learned, believe it or not, I learned what a double lift was watching Blaine's special. I'm not knocking David Blaine's double lift. It's because I fast forward and rewound it 10,000 times.
Over and over.
Yeah, and the day that I found out, oh my God, he's lifting 2 cars. Oh my God, those are 2 cars. It unlocked every door and blew my mind. So I performed magic in a bubble. I didn't know any other magicians. I didn't know there was magic shops. I just did the tricks that David Blaine did on the TV special for 10 years. I used to be a programmer, a coder. I coded some video games back in the day. But magic was my hobby. I'd go to the bar and meet new people, and it always took me to cool places, So it was the best little hobby to have.
So what
and then I got into all this another way. But
what age were you at when you started taking in the magic?
I think I was probably around. I was about right after the Blaine special, and then Illusionist became a thing on the internet, and I was like, wait a minute, you can buy this stuff. I started to seek out if there was any magic shops, and I just came in at the tail end of when Hank Lee's magic shop was still open in Boston. So I went there a little bit, but not much. Thankfully, they sold me Michael Lamar, Easy to Master, and Bill Malone, and Doc Easton, that stuff. But I didn't find that stuff until I was probably 20, Before then, it was literally ambitious card, 2-card money, anything Blaine did, bite quarter, all that stuff. I did all that because why wouldn't you? But yeah, so about 20 to 23 is when I realized you could buy this stuff, and like started learning who some of the players were as far as who were good magicians that you should learn from, and but still didn't know anybody. I really thought the illusionists used to have these really fun things where they release it at midnight and they'd make a big deal. I don't know. Do you remember any of this?
Yeah, I was right at the tail end, or I guess
Right after all that?
Illusionist and Penguin were like the first two magic
Yeah.
shops I ever got.
Illusionists used to do this thing where they'd like really hype a product and then release it at midnight to get the download. And I remember being like, am I the only idiot right now that's like waiting up till 11:30 at night so I can download a magic trick? Like, I'm talking about all like the Ninja One, Ambitious X, all that era of
came
stuff.
in right after that.
Yeah, they started doing downloads right after all that. And anyway, I didn't know there was other people out there. So I didn't really find any other magicians till the late 2000s.
Where were you located at that time?
I grew up in Massachusetts. I was living in, if you grow up in New England, you end up living in every state at one point or another. So it's like I think I was in New Hampshire at the time, most of it, and Maine, most of that time.
There really wasn't any like magic shops around there.
Just Hank Lee's, and even there, the times that I went, I was like, I don't have anything in common with these people. I don't want to hang out with these people. Just sell me this DVD,
Right.
And that was it. Yeah. Nobody was my age, right? Like I never met anybody the same age, or they were trying to sell me silks, and I was like, no, it's got to be sleight of hand with cards. I don't use gimmicks, all that stuff, right?
Yeah, it's an interesting world to dive into. I mean, I think Illusionist and Penguin was one of like the first things I saw getting the magic, and yeah, really it was Wayne Houchin's Sinful. That was a trick that like I watched over and over. I'm like, how
is such a thing possible? No, that's where I came from, is learning from that stuff. I didn't start I could go into a bar and be like, tonight I'm going to meet the manager, I'm going to meet the band. I love that environment. That was a lot of fun, but I decided I didn't want to do what I was doing, programming, not because I wanted to get into magic. It's just, I just knew I didn't want to do that anymore. And I started analyzing my life skills, and the only thing I knew how to do at that point was card tricks.
Yeah.
Maybe a mistake at this point, who knows? But there was an audition for a magic show at Universal Studios in Orlando. And at the time, I had moved down to Sarasota to live with a friend. Then I ended up over in Orlando, and before I know it, I was doing 20 shows a day at this crazy magic shop called Theater Magic. And did that for like 4 or 5 years. Did over 13,000 shows.
So that's definitely where you got your chops then.
Yeah, I'd never stood up in front of a group and done a trick before. Like, maybe 12 people around me on the street or at a bar, but not like in a formal setting.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, so you're living proof of showing all that work.
Yeah.
And
I
always recommend people, that's the only way to get good. I mean, every great magician says that you got to put in the work.
You learn things that you don't even know exist, when you start doing that stuff that much. You can't read it in a book. So, yeah.
Experience is the greatest teacher.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, the best way I've learned is working the streets, because I just do it over and over, and working with all those different people and strangers you never know. It's different because you don't have that validation either. Yeah,
we talk about learning on video and books and all that stuff all the time. I'm kind of proof that, that's why I like teaching on video so much. It's because I learned from video, right? But I never would have gotten to the place that I'm at now without also performing for people as well, right? I think all that video and all that stuff was great for me because I did go out and do it, but really nothing could prepare me for being in the theater every day other than just doing it, right? I mean, learning the double lift from David Blaine helped, but Yeah, you have to do it all if you want to get really good at this stuff.
Yeah.
So
Do
I'm
you
still
still
working
do
on
the
that.
push off double like that, like Blaine does?
I had a hard time. I couldn't do it like him off the heel, like off
Yeah,
here. Is that what
yeah.
Yeah, no, I could never
I,
do that.
I think I
Yeah,
would remember. I usually remember people when they do it that way because, David Blaine's kind of that's like his signature double you'd always see. And the
no,
only
I don't.
guy I know that I would see normally do it that's a real great magician is Jeremy Griffin. And
Okay.
I always see him pop it like that. I'm like, oh, David Blaine.
Are there any other double lifts that you can look at and be like, oh, that's so and so? It's a
Right?
pretty signature one.
Yeah, there's not too many. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, that's an interesting topic right there. Name this double lift, and then you do it, right? Like who's yeah, or who is it? I don't know.
And there's so many ways of people doing it too. I mean, how many double lifts variants are there? There's
Oh
probably
my
at least
God.
a couple dozen.
I think I believe it's Michael Amar that said this, which I always find is a funny little quote. He said, we've got hundreds and hundreds of years of like smart, creative, magical thinking. And to this day, still the best thing we got is lifting two cards as one. So true.
It is, yeah. When I found that out too, I think it blew my mind. And it was also because it was one of those things like it seems so simple and yet it was so diabolical. And I was like,
Yeah. And I think it really, looking back on it, it really opens up some creative doors, at least it did for me, where all of a sudden I thought I could come up with my own tricks, right? Because I was like, oh, I can do this move is so powerful. So yeah, I was trying to come up with stuff. I never came up with anything good, but I don't think I thought like that before I knew the double lift.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely probably the most fundamental and utility move that you could do so
No
much
doubt.
with. I mean, you
Yeah.
even just putting two just double lifts back to back in in a trick is just solid.
Yeah, no, it's
And the two-card money.
top card
that,
move of
that
all
was
time.
the first thing I think I used to learn the triple lift at first, and then I would do the top.
Slow down, Jack. Triple lift, you're out of your mind.
Yeah. So that's crazy. So you got into Universal in Florida doing a bunch of shows. So that explains your greatness. Now I understand that. I just connect the dots there. And from there, where'd you go from there? So how long did you do that? You did 5 years of that?
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess if you want to focus on that, basically, we'll just continue it. I moved to Sarasota because I didn't want to work for the game company that I was working with. And what happened was I decided I'd never thought that Michael Amar was like a real person. I guess his name's going to come up a lot.
I know. I didn't think you're a real person. No.
Oh, stop! I see you like twice a year.
Generated Penguin Magic.
So I was sitting in my room. I'm like, I should Google this guy, right? Like I just thought he just lived in my DVD player. I didn't think he was like a real person. And it turned out he was doing a lecture, whatever that was, in Sarasota, like 2 weeks right after I searched. So I'm like, well, I gotta go to that, which is when I had to sign up for IBM because it was at the local IBM ring. Didn't know what that was, but I signed up for it because they told me this guy Michael Amar was going to be there, and he taught me every trick I really liked up to that point, right, on video. So I went, had to sign up for IBM. I met all these magicians who I never knew existed, and the person that was helping Michael with his lecture was Jeff Kaler. Do you know Jeff?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that made the TKO. And Jeff, we were about the same age, and Jeff was also from Massachusetts. So we kind of hit it off right away. And he was like, what are you doing out here? I'm like, oh, I'm just living with my blah, blah, made up a story. I don't know. And he said, well, come hang out in Orlando sometime. And I was like, oh, that's funny. I'm going to be there tomorrow. It was a total lie. But and so I went out to hang out with Jeff at the Magic Estate in Orlando.
Yeah.
And I moved in 2 weeks later. So I lived at the Magic Estate for the entirety of my time when I was in Orlando at the theme park. So I got to the Magic Estate first, and then got the job at Universal, and moved on. So I lived at that crazy Magic Mansion that had all sorts of other magicians living at it, which was pretty wild. But after that, one of the people I worked with at the theme park was Dalton. Do you know Dalton Wayne?
Dalton Wayne, yeah.
Yeah. So Dalton did the show with me at Universal Studios.
Oh,
There's a lot of great magicians that did that show, actually. Some I don't know, maybe talk about them later. But anyway, Dalton used to submit a lot of tricks to Penguin, and he would always make these really crazy videos. I don't know if you saw any of those back in the day.
He's a good little cinematographer.
Yeah. So he used to send these videos to Penguin, and of course Dalton was only like 14, 15, 16 at the time, right? And, I'm just speaking for these people now. They must have been looking at these videos going like, this dude's crazy. The tricks are crap, but the video's really good, right? So they offered him a job, like, because of his video quality, when he was like 18, 17, 18, 19, somewhere in there. So he left Universal and came up here to Ohio to work for Penguin. And once I left the theme park just for other reasons, and then I always kind of kept in touch with Dalton. I was like, hey, what's going on out there? What's Penguin like, right? Had to know. Yeah. And he's like, you should come out here because they're looking for somebody that you can do everything that I already know you can do everything they want. So I was like, yeah, screw it. I drove out to Ohio, and I've been here for the last 8 years now, which is insane to me, but yeah.
8 years, man. Time goes by fast.
Yeah, sure does.
You literally are there right now.
I am here right now. Yeah. It's it couldn't be a better place to work. It's a real job, and there's only like 11 or 15 of us, somewhere in there. So it's a family, and this place is just always open, and it's been a great place to get out of the house, right now. So.
Yeah. Are you doing some work there right now? Is that why you're there?
Yeah, I gotta film some. What am I filming? Some of that P3 TV stuff I gotta film today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I was just saying, I love seeing your face on Penguin Magic, and
Oh, thanks, man.
You're a great teacher. I think it's good to see you've got you're perfect character for it.
Thanks.
I heard a lot of good stuff about you. Personally, I think you're great. And then it's cool because I first met you in Florida.
Yeah, was that in Florida? I can never keep track because I've seen you in 7 different states.
I was traveling around the country at the time. And it was right when I first kind of knew about you on Penguin. And then honestly, when I met you in person, I was like, this guy is really cool. I like this guy. Good, good vibe, down to earth. Getting a call. I said sometimes I was like a little turned off from magicians, and I always felt like there's those untouchables, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know.
Sure.
Cool. But you were always very welcoming and kind, which is super,
Well, good. Got me on a good day.
Yeah. No, you've always been cool. And it must be amazing to work with so many great magicians too. You must.
Yeah.
The bad and the ugly.
Yeah, no, it's exactly that. It really is that. It's crazy to think that this machine it's one magician comes in, hangs out with us for a week, they leave. Another one comes in, hangs out for a week. You know what I mean? It's just this perpetual machine and there's some people that I'm really excited to hang out with, some people that I'm not excited to hang out with, some people that really surprise you. I mean, it's just across the board. I used to ask people when I first got here, like, how do you, what would you try to take advantage of if you were in my position? Because when I first got here, I'm still learning all the time, but I was also when I first got here in that like kind of starstruck mode a little bit, where it's like, holy crap, I got to go pick up Tom Mullica today, or so I used to ask people all the time, like, what would you do if you were in my position? Like, how would you use this to further your own learning and your own skills, right? Because you're ingesting so much knowledge and material here from a variety of sources, like every source imaginable, right? And I think I found over the years that it's only in times like this when I'm not doing as much that it comes to fruition, because it's just too much otherwise. I mean, I spent 5 years.
It must be overwhelming, huh? Probably a lot of stuff doesn't stick. Like you give
I
and
think,
take from all that.
yeah, I think one of the hardest parts is if you're working on something that you're excited about. Like, let's just say you're working on a bank night routine. All of a sudden, the next 5 people that come in here, just the universe demands it. They're all doing bank night routines, right? So you're forced to watch like bank night routines every week, and you're like, damn, that guy's is so good. Oh my God, mine's not that, like it's like discouraging, as in like, I might have just picked an idea and ran with it before, but because I was like I'm not watching bad magic here, right? I'm watching good magic. So because you see that stuff, sometimes it can really, some people tell you like, oh, I don't want to listen to that person's opinion because I want to form my own. Yeah, I don't have that luxury sometimes here,
Yeah.
right? So it can get in the way of work, but at the same time, there's a real benefit to it, right? So I've always kind of struggled with how do you advance your own material when you're ingesting so much other stuff, right? It also leads to stuff that I really like now that I never thought I would have ever liked, it's so much magic. So much.
I couldn't even imagine being in your position. It would be super overwhelming. Even for me, I've been doing these live streams for like over a month. So I think we're like close to a full pack of cards. Like I think we're close to 50. But it's that same sort of vibe where you're gaining and sharing this wisdom, and not everything is sticking. Like some things stick and it's cool, but it becomes overwhelming where you have all these things come into you and you're like, which one do I gravitate more to?
I have a list of stuff.
I find myself in the same boat right now, actually, because I'm like trying to work on my own thing, and I'm getting other influences from other things that may be great, and then I'm like, but I'm just trying to do it this way.
At some point, you just have to have the space to flush something out, right?
Yeah.
And like get to a point with it and be like, okay, and then you can see that stuff, right? But
I think that's more what it's like. I think in the beginning, too, a lot of magicians, we just become like an RPG player. We're collecting all the items.
Yeah, you got to collect it all.
Things, and then it's more or less about it's more about just now letting go.
Yeah.
of your inventory and holding on to the certain things that serve you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've got piles of stuff that I always keep from lectures or, working on Tarbell or any of the crazy things that I've done, and I'll never be able to get to them. It's too big.
I know you need like a dozen more lifetimes.
Yeah, it's just not possible. So.
Isn't that crazy, man? Oh man. So what has been your favorite project that you worked with Penguin?
Oh man.
Maybe your favorite live or person that you got to work with?
It's such a hard question to answer.
Tough, huh?
So there's been 423 Penguin Lives.
Wow, really?
423. Isn't that wild? I've probably filmed and attended, let's say, 350 of them. Somewhere in there. It's always the people that I've never heard of. And like the only ones I can always remember are whoever was just kind of here recently. Like, do you know who Manuel Yeazer is?
I'm not familiar with him now.
He's what the hell's his name? Not Alan. Well, it doesn't matter. He's a card magician.
Manuel. What's his last name? Manuel.
It's LL, like Manuel, and then LLASER, like Yeazer. So it's kind of a tough one to spell. Anyway, I'd never heard of him, but he's related to, he's a magician from Spain, Alan. He's good friends with Tamariz. He did a Penguin Live here once as well. Another great magician, but he's his nephew, or yeah, I think he's his nephew. Anyway, he came here. He crushed the place, as all those Spanish guys do. And then, like, you know, I was doing the castle just a few months later after that. And out of the blue, I'm just working on my castle act with this guy. over Facebook Messenger, right? Because we kind of really hit it off, and he was like the person I was just supposed to talk to about that. So it's somebody that just like came in here and then helped me out with a lot of things in a really big, moment for me. We're working at the Magic Castle, right? So that, never would have happened. So like guys like him, there was another guy that was in here, I think in December, Ineki Zabaleta, Spanish cruise ship guy, did amazing stuff. His lecture is great. Then you just get all the people that, like Tom Mullica was amazing to hang out with. And
So cool.
I always like the people that come here to have a good time, really. Believe it or not, not everybody does. It's business for some people, which is fine. But the people that come here to like come hang out, go to the pizza spot, meet the local magicians, tear up the show, they always end up being, good friends for a long time usually. So
That's rad. Yeah. It must be such an honor to be around that and to have that, moment.
yeah, it's pretty. It's
So
just
many great magicians from all around the world,
you just get to know them in a different way, right? Because any of these conventions and things that we go to, it's just business as usual. That's why you get those cliques and those people that feel unapproachable, right? I can even understand how people get that way at this point. Like I can see how that happens.
I just remembered at Magic Live, I saw you too, and you came up to me like, "Hey, we're coming upstairs," and I thought that was so cool that you came up to me and said, "Hey, you're welcome to come and jam with me." And I was just about to. I think I was getting lunch at the time. I'm like, "Oh," and I was like, "Oh, I just missed that." And I think that's cool because around that environment too, in conventions, it is like business, and you got those cliques, and it's kind of weird sometimes.
Yeah.
It's I've always tried to, find my way to get into that and also like diffuse it. And I think for most of all, it's just about being yourself and being cool and not really like showing off.
Yeah, it's about finding your friends in the magic community. That's all. Everybody's into different stuff. So, you're not going to see a bottom deal out of me. So.
No, we all got something we could teach one another. We all do something. We all know something that someone doesn't know.
Yeah, and a lot of that stuff is probably not on display like so much at the jam session circle, at whatever convention you're at. You just got to talk to people.
So what have you been doing now throughout this time of isolation?
It's been really good for me, weirdly. Yeah. I was going too fast for too long. And I don't know, some of these videos that I've been editing, this is all stuff that, you've seen a couple of them, right? Like the deck to shoe video. And,
I just saw it.
Yeah, that was filmed like 4 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I mean, I have 7 years worth of performance footage that's like never been edited, right? Because it just piles up.
And then you're set.
Yeah. So it's been really nice to be able to like show that to people. I have so many friends from back home that would like love to see any of the stuff that they think that I've been doing for the last 7 years or whatever, right? So it's kind of rewarding to be able to show that off. Same with like that little P3 TV stuff. The shows that we've done in here for the last 7 years are amazing. Every week we get all this cool stuff. And, it does go into our products. Not all of it does, though. And just to kind of dust it off and show it, I mean, it's still good, things that people haven't seen in a while. So working on that. I've started coding again, weirdly. and I haven't been working on magic. That's for damn sure. Maybe a little bit, but not too much.
Oh man.
Yeah, I haven't really done a magic trick in it's been a minute. Yeah. I filmed, what trick were we filming? We were filming, did it come out? Oh no, so it's 2 tricks that aren't out yet. One's coming out in a couple weeks, I think. It's called Arrested. But That was I was filming it in Orlando with Dalton, and we were kind of there on like the last night that people were still going out, but thought that things might start shutting down. And it was just a really weird night to be out filming magic, and that was the last time I was doing tricks. Was there. The last show I did was at a nudist resort, actually, which was pretty funny.
You gotta tell me about that. So at a nudist resort, did you got hired for it?
No. Have you ever been to Wizards Magic Theater in Orlando?
You know, I haven't yet. I've actually went by it, but I haven't. I was just.
It's a fun little room. It seats about 30 to 50 people. I can't remember if it's 30 or 50. And they always have great talent. It's on Monday nights. And Kim and Eric Olson, who run it, are old friends. That place was really important when I was in Orlando performing because they brought in good performers. So on Mondays, I'd fly over there real quick after work and watch whoever was performing, like TC Tahoe or Terry Ward or Eric or John Eakin or whoever they brought into town that night, Giovanni Rivera, Michael Amar, all these great local performers. So Wizards, what was I saying about Wizards? Oh,
at the nudist resort.
At the end, I was in Florida for a few weeks, and Eric, the normal host, was out of town, so they asked me to fill in a few nights. So I hosted a couple shows over at Wizards. But one of the things that they can do, like if you're a performer coming through town, is that they have some additional work around the area that they'll have. Like, let's say you were in Orlando and Eric's like, yeah, come work Wizards. They might have like a resort show or something that they can throw you as well while you're down there. And so there's kind of this like legendary, it's not a legendary gig, but like a lot of well-known performers have done it. And I'd always heard about it. It's called the Cove. It's a nudist resort in Florida. It's an amazing place. But it's not that great of a story because, I mean, on the surface, nudist resort, last show that I did, great little headline. But otherwise, it was just a great group of people, a great crowd, a great venue.
Are they all walking around in the nude?
Yeah, probably half are pretty well nude. I think the common thing to do was like have a shirt on but no pants. And then
But no pants.
Yeah, you'd have to you bring your towel around so you can sit on your towel and everything. But yeah, no, it was interesting for sure.
What about you? Are you doing magic in the nude too?
No, I mean,
are you wearing just your sport coat?
I wouldn't have been, I wouldn't have been shy about it, but yeah, I need my pockets. So, no, it's just business as usual. It's just people don't have clothes on. But great show, great gig. I'd do that again in a heartbeat. And they really enjoy magic because they know that, little do they know, they're getting like some of the best magicians. It's kind of like the people that come to the show here on Tuesday nights, where it's like we're gonna bring out, Brian Brushwood. Well, most people probably know who Brian Brushwood is, but you can bring out any great old magician, and they have no idea who he is. Like Danny Ortiz or something like that. They don't know who Danny Ortiz is, right? It's the same thing with the people at this resort. They have a list of all the names of the performers that they've had. And they had some pretty big names on there. I guess I probably can't say who's done it. Maybe they don't want me to say. So, but yeah, some really, really big names have done that gig. So,
I mean, why not? Another one for the books.
Yeah,
you can say not many people could say you can even do that.
Yeah,
I don't even know where any nudist resorts are, to be honest.
You're gonna search for them after this, I can tell. Where are you anyway? Where are you?
I'm actually in Corona, California.
Corona, California. Where is that?
It's in Riverside. It's LA.
Have you ever been in here?
I haven't yet. No, and that's in Ohio, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I'd like to. So, how do you guys welcome? It's open to public for those shows that you guys do. Yeah,
on Tuesday. Yeah, I mean, it's a real fascinating topic to figure out what the hell is going to happen after all of this. because I don't even know. But yeah, typically the show is open to the public on Tuesdays. We started the show in 2014 or 13, I can't remember, but that was to get performance footage for Dan for the Tarbell project that we did.
Yeah, dude, that's amazing. How is it working with Dan? He puts out so much work too.
See, like, yeah, I forget. Dan is like,
it's amazing how much work he's put into that Tarbell stuff too. I haven't seen it. I just see the previews. I'm like, wow, he's diving into all that. Even the Tommy Wonder Books of Wonder, I thought that was amazing too.
Yeah, he's crazy, man. Like I don't. There's no one else like him. He genuinely all he does is work on magic show. I mean, he's got other stuff that he does, but like wants to work on magic and make things better and be the best teacher, and that's what he's really passionate about. So to him, he's got the best job in the world. Right? There's literally nothing else he would want to do. So Penguin purchased Hermetic Press like a couple years ago, which is the magic. Some of these great magic books that have been published through Hermetic Press in the past, like Monica or Card Call, all these great titles. So that's why the Tommy Wonder thing came up, is because we have all these great books that we want to reprint and re-promote. So one of the ways that you can do that is, make some video content for each one. So I would say, look, like the Tommy Wonder project's already filmed. It's in the can. Now, I don't know how we're going to go about filming stuff in the future. It's all up for debate. But I think in the future, you should look for more titles that were in the Hermetic line that Dan will be probably going through. Like I might be doing, I don't know, it's been thrown around a few times, but like I know a lot of the Paul Curry stuff is stuff that I really like. So if it came up and we got to do a Paul Curry series, I'd probably do a bunch of that. But those are all like these great books that we have that we want to get the books in more magicians' hands. And one way to do that is to kind of highlight some of the tricks that are in them. That wasn't really the case with Tarbell. Dan just had a crazy idea. He just wanted to do it. And it was a stupid idea. It took 5 years. So
5 years, wow.
Took
I know,
5
that's
years.
Crazy. When I first saw that, I'm like, that's a lot of material.
He did it. Yeah, it took 5 years. He did every trick in the show. It's only a handful that he didn't. But everything was performed here,
wow.
Good or not. So
that must have been a great, a little bit of a challenge to go through all that.
Yeah, the logistics, storing the footage and tutorials and keeping track of all that stuff, just crazy. It's hard. I mean, yeah, it was hard. But that's another one people ask me about what are the takeaways from working on that project. And again, it was the same question I was asking. I would be asking you. I'm like, Jack, I'm about to go page by page through Tarbell with Dan Harlan, because I edited everything. I filmed most of it.
So you basically did it too, then? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I basically did it too. What do you do? How do you capitalize on this? How do you make this influence? You get all this great stuff. Everybody tells you to read Tarbell, right? Right. Yeah. I'm forced to read it now. I'm getting paid to read it. So how do you what do you do? And I don't think I do a single trick. No, I do one trick out of the entire series. But the thing that I learned the most was how to build my own props, for sure. I think if anybody was to watch those videos with Dan, he makes so much stuff and teaches you how easy it is to make so many things that it's not just me, because I was next to it all the time. I think anybody that watches that course would be like, why am I buying this? I don't need to buy this. I can make this thing, right? So, yeah, the real value is that, I think.
I mean, I have some, I don't have the whole collection, but I have a few volumes, and honestly, yeah, I think when I first got into magic, it really did show that side of constructing your own magic.
Yeah.
and some good pointers on showmanship too, which I like. Tarbell covers a lot.
Yeah, I think there's some good methods on like mentalism and numbers, the card magic and novelty magic and stuff. Not so much. The rope magic's pretty good,
Yeah.
but I'm sure a lot of the silk stuff is good too, but I just kind of leave that out because it's kind of narrow and kind of niche on who performs that type of stuff. But it really, there's just every now and then you'll find a method that's like, oh, that's really good. But building your own props is what you can really get out of Tarbell, I think.
Yeah. I know some people give me some questions like, oh, can you do a tour?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Should I keep it on me or turn it around?
Whatever you like. Yeah, bring it around, see what it looks like. Whatever's good.
All right.
There's inside of the P3 Theater.
I mean, it's a mess right here. I'll come over here so you guys can. So there's the old wall.
Yeah.
The wall's kind of fun. The wall used to be wood. It used to be vertical panels. This is a
oh, it's not even. Wow.
Yeah, it's a cloth. So this it's all hung up with Velcro. So we have, if you've watched a lot of this stuff, if you've watched a lot of this stuff, you'll see some different backgrounds that we put up here.
That looks nice though. I really like that blue background and the blue wood.
Yeah, and just silly theater stuff. We used to light the wall blue from the floor. So we used to have uplights on the actual wood that was there. Yeah. But the problem is that our space is only so deep that the lights would wash out the blue on the wall. So we always had this like really hard balance of, blowing people's face out. So we was just like, well, let's print a blue wall. That way we don't have to light it, right?
Yeah.
And so that's worked out really well. What else is in here that's interesting? So all the chairs are up at the moment. Those are the two cameras. I don't know if anybody's ever wondered what we film on. Just camcorders, because you need the long format. Well, I guess let's go to the front. Nobody ever sees the front, right?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. So, well, it's kind of a mess. Right before all this stuff, we were actually turning the front into a magic shop.
Oh.
So we'll even go outside here. Why not?
Yeah, you can walk right in, act like we're there.
Yeah. So
this is where people wait to get in line for the show? Yeah,
that's where the line goes down there. There's the door. Now, all of these windows these were all curtained up. There's you can see a reflection. We go in the door. Ugh. So when you come in, there would be a desk right here where you get your tickets, but we were starting to turn this into a magic shop. We were going to sell, we would have a lot of the P3 products on display, but just kind of sell some t-shirts and decks of cards and things for the laymen that come to the show. Here's the sign that people see.
Oh, yeah.
Lights up. It's all under there.
Free magic show. So it is a free magic show. Yeah.
Is it free anymore? I think it's $5 to come.
I was gonna say it's free.
Yeah. So this bar has been in a bunch of stuff. It used to be in the other room, but now it's up here. This is kind of fun.
Nice. Yeah.
Tabletop these cards.
Cards. Yeah.
So Harlan did this, but the Betty Boop cards on here, they kind of go in a line, but he put them in size Stebbins. So if you look at them, they're actually 2, 5, 8 Jack.
Yeah, he's got it.
Close heart space diamond.
Yeah.
I've never actually used it for a trick, but it goes all the way down the bar. All 52 cards. So that's kind of fun. So that's the front room. This is where people will come in when they come to the show, and then you would come through here. Now this place is obviously a mess at the moment. So the red curtains would be drawn, so you can't quite see into the theater. Like these would be closed off. This would be the opening to go in. Normally our bar would be right here against this wall, but all that's been taken apart at the moment. That sign. There's the penguins over there. The beer coolers. So yeah, then you come in here. All the chairs would be set up. There's the blue wall, and then there's this area back here. This is kind of where all the tech is, and if we have a backstage, it'd be in this black curtain area. Turn this light on. Oh, it was on. That's our old P3 sign, and there's this is where all the switching and the sound and lights gets done. And then this is just kind of like where the performers hang out backstage. There's probably some cool stuff on here. I don't know. What do we got? We got like some Richard Turner.
Nice.
This is funny. Do you know Etienne? God, I can never say his name. Pradier. Do you know that guy?
No.
French magician. He's amazing. But anyway, he's got his face on the Queen. Right. So
is that part of it?
That's his business card. It's a fake.
Oh, it's a business card. Okay.
Yeah, it's a fake pound, and it's got his face on the Queen's face. Yeah. And then the bathroom's back here, and then probably the spot that nobody ever sees is the. Oh, I should take you in the basement. That's where you should.
You guys have a basement. Oh, nice.
The basement's where all the gimmicks get made.
Oh.
Yeah, let's go down there.
Like a mad scientist lab.
Yeah. I don't know what. Nobody's there at the moment, but I don't know what they're making. There might be a lot of weird things laid out. We'll see. So you know where you are now. There's the sign. There's this door, which this is where we keep all our camera gear and stuff. Oh man, it's like a horror movie, right?
Yeah. Where are we going now?
Like, yeah. You're like, look at this door. Evil. All right. So we'll get some lights.
So this is the little gimmick lab.
This is the gimmick lab.
That's cool.
I don't know. Where the hell's the light? I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't look like they got much out on display at the moment, other than a mess.
Is that Danny? Is that a watercolor by Danny? No, Danny?
Yeah. I think it was painted by Perseus Acromanus, I believe.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, holy crap, it's a mess down here. They're probably going to hate me if they see this. I always thought this poster was funny. Durbin, the past master of the black art. So he's like, he used to be the best, and he tips his method, right?
Yeah, wait, what?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. I always like that poster.
That's hilarious.
Man, there's nothing cool. So there's some drums back here. I don't know where the lights are. There's some drums.
Yeah, the banging out.
Well, let me go through here. I don't know if this is boring. Let me know. But
no, this is cool. I find this interesting. As long as you don't get stuck down there and the door slams shut, and then you can't get out.
No,
it's going to be a whole nother show.
Right now I'm in the complete darkness looking for a light. Hold on. Where is that light? There it is.
Found it?
Oh, wow. They cleaned it up down here. All right. Whoa. Okay. I haven't been in here in a minute. They've cleaned. This used to be where all the tarbell tricks went to die. It still is. Okay. In the back. A lot of the old illusions and things that we did are like in this pile back here. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, you can see just the whole. So there are a bunch of little illusions you guys put together.
Well, in the Tarbell series, we had to, Dan built all the illusions in Tarbell. And,
here's Perseus right now. You're like, that's my painting. Hey, great job, Perseus.
That was Perseus. There you go. I think we're still waiting for Danny to show up to give it to him. But, so this is where all the Tarbell stuff came to die. There used to be a lot more stuff down here, like piles of, like, DVDs and stuff that never sold. So, all right, let's get out of here before I don't think I've had my tetanus shot in a while.
All right. So, watch out for those rusty nails.
Yeah, look at these steps, man. This is an old building, so it's.
Someone had a question about card college. Are you guys going to be doing card college as well?
Probably not. I mean, if we did, it would be with Roberto, right?
Yeah, that's what.
And knowing Roberto, who's, I think arguably the best teacher on video that I've seen, because I've worked with Roberto a few times now, and he's just so specific about. He's so good at teaching. I don't know if you've seen any of his lectures.
I think it was you and Chris Beeson that recommended me I picked up the book, the stand-up card magic. And I really like it. It's a great book. Writer,
yeah,
he's a great author. Great
yeah, he's a genius. Like, forget magic, just the way that he compiles information and can talk about it, and he's just so smart. But I can't see doing card college, number one, without Roberto, and number two, I don't know how he would put it on video. It would be thousands of hours.
A lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah.
A whole nother Tarbell series.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's 6 vol. Yeah. Where do you stop? There's so much stuff in there. But his books are so, I don't know, maybe, I don't know what you think, but like, I think those books are just so clear on how you do it. Seeing somebody do it, another thing, but yeah. Yeah, I love the instruction.
They're
in those
literally
books.
like textbooks for college, for magic.
Yeah, they really are.
It's very thorough and clear. So it would be, I guess, people want to see the videos because there's a lot of visual learners. I know magic is a visual art form too.
Yeah.
A lot of people look after that.
Yeah, I think he must have done something though. I feel like there's been a few things on video, but I don't know what they are.
Yeah, I wonder.
I don't know.
Well, that's cool. Thanks for the tour, man. It was cool to see the Penguin Magic Theater.
Yeah, it's still
where all
here.
the magic goes down.
Mm-hmm.
So many great magicians have been right there where you're standing.
Yeah, and I hope it keeps going. So yeah. I don't know what, I think things open up here in a couple weeks, supposedly. I don't know. So I don't know. We're kind of itching to be able to not do a show.
Here's one question I've been asking everybody. What is your prediction of what magic is going to be like? What's your vision? Because I know it's a weird time, but what would you want it to be?
Mine's not as snap judgment. It's not as positive as you maybe would want to hear. But, I would love to get to a point, again, where we're performing live again. That might not be the case. Yeah, in my head, I keep referring to it like watching an old movie where people are smoking in planes and stuff, where you're just like, why are they smoking in a plane, right? And it's kind of the same thing where if you were to watch an old video of a Penguin Live show, and you'd be like, man, I can't believe everybody was sitting so close to one another, right?
Yeah,
like,
they're all touching each other.
Yeah, like, not that live performance wouldn't exist, but like, I think we just maybe got away with a lot of stuff that maybe we're not going to be able to get away with for a while, So I can't really see, especially us, like filming a show and then cutting to the audience all in masks, right?
I know. How awkward would that be?
Yeah. I don't know when that becomes normal, right? Like when we feel like, when you don't even see the masks, right?
Yeah.
And even for some of our shows right now and our products, I wouldn't even want to ask a magician to be like the one to, like, because if you had to do a show right now on this stage in front of people that were, first of all, this room seats 50. If we did a show next week, we'd only be able to have 10 people in here, right? And they'd have to be separated.
Yeah.
How does that work? If you've been working on an act for a while, there's a lot of great performers and a lot of professionals, but I wouldn't want to ask them to like put that on camera, right? Some of them might want to, and that'd be fine. Like Paul Draper just made a great video about doing virtual magic shows.
Yeah.
So there's some people that are taking the leap forward there. But yeah, I don't know. There's definitely going to be great things about it. There's going to be things that evolve that are going to be amazing. But I think some of the things that we've maybe taken for granted are just piling up on top of each other. Like, screw the fire code, bring them all in. I don't know that is going to be a thing. I don't know. I'm keeping my eyes open, but I can't see a great way to do a show at the moment, especially one for camera. That's going to be hard.
Have you done any virtual shows?
No. So.
And what do you think about that? I know that's what we're adapting to right now.
What I think about it, so I'm for anybody wants to do whatever they want. I'm up for it. I know there's probably some great virtual shows. For me personally, if magic was virtual shows when I was a kid, I don't think I'd be interested in it. Do you know what I mean? I think I got.
Yeah, because you watch David Blaine, but you see David Blaine interacting with the people.
Yeah. I don't know that I would be hooked the same way I was. I don't think I would have gotten into magic all that heavy if this is what it was. I have no desire to work on a virtual show. I just don't. If that's what magic's going to be, show's over probably for me. I'll probably move on to something else. I can stay within this medium of Penguin and teaching great tricks, because at the same time, the way we perform them is going to have to change. So, but as far as my own show, I don't think that I'm going to. I mean, I say that now. Maybe 5 years from now, you'd be like seeing my virtual tour. But for right now, I just have no interest in working on that for myself. I'm probably gonna have to learn how to do some things for Penguin products and stuff, but we'll see how that goes. I don't know what that's going to evolve. What do you think it's going to evolve into?
Yeah, I mean, I think right now we're all adapting, evolving somehow, and I think it's interesting to see it roll into that. And I'm seeing how people have just taken the wheel and just gone with it. And, just like you said, seeing Paul Draper do it, and a lot of big magicians doing it, or now going into more teaching. But yeah, it's weird. I think it's doable, but it just doesn't have that same feel.
No.
And I think we're going to see a lot more now, more than anything, a lot more visual magic, a lot more stage stuff. So I think stage magic is going to have a huge comeback. Yeah, and I can agree on that too, because I could feel silent and manipulation style acts, maybe just on the cutting edge, but like possibly something that would be a little bit more in demand even before this. And I only say that because there was a lot more variety venues opening up over the last year and a half that would definitely be interested in something like that, right? So to have like a little 5-minute silent or variety act. Yeah, even more so now, right? But I just don't know how you do it over and over and over again, Yeah, I'm sure we'll go back to it though, one way or another. I think it'll just take some time. Who knows how long though? Eventually.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see. I know we're going to be cut off in about 40 seconds. I know I talked to you forever, man. This has been so fun. Thank you for the tour.
Instagram says no. Is that what happens?
Yeah, I know. It cuts us off after an hour. It goes by so quick. Hey, but thanks, Nick.
Yeah, of course.
Keep up the great work. I love all the stuff you do at Penguin. I look forward to seeing more and seeing your pretty face.
No. All right, buddy.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in.
Hope to see you soon.
Cheers.